Ladies and gentlemen, as you guys are aware, I am a massive, massive manga fan. I have been posting my collection that is growing very rapidly on my Twitter account, and I've come to the decision that I'm going to make separate accounts specifically for Hypnotic's manga. That's what I'm going to do. So stay tuned in the future, very, very soon, for a Instagram specific for it, a Twitter specific for it, and definitely a YouTube manga channel that I plan to somehow do in next year in 2024. But with that being said, I am a huge manga fan, but American comics could essentially go to hell because American comics for a long time now, it's not just recent, for a long time now, have been absolute garbage. There is very little good content available in American comics, and we essentially see why now. So we have an article here from Bounding Into Comics that says Marvel Comics retcons Nightcrawler's origins, reveals that the X-Men teleporter is a biological son of two lesbian mutants, Mystique and Destiny. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that headline is 100% real. It is not just fake. It is not just, crazy for just the sake of clickbait. No, no, no. It's literally they retconned his origin to be a son, a biological son, mind you. I don't know how they're going to explain that one, of two lesbian mutants. Okay, so clearly, both women got them each other pregnant. There was no man involved because that's the new thing now. They want to try to convince you that this is possible, and they're definitely not going the surrogate route. At least I didn't see any evidence of that in the actual comic books. So let's get into this article, guys, from Bounding Into Comics. But of course, before we do, if you are new here, just consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it, and like the video to push us out into the YouTube algorithm. So before we get into the article, though, I do have a picture that's pulled up. I do have a picture that's pulled up on Twitter. Okay, and I saw this picture, and I gotta tell you, man, it becomes a point where you don't even you can see that even the basics, right, even the basics of just very generic storytelling is completely just ignored. It's completely ignored for the simple fact of identity politics. That is why they're so focused on identity politics that they can't even get the basics right, or they're literally choosing to ignore it because they're so lazy to do it. So what am I talking about? Well, quite simply, this picture makes absolutely no fucking sense whatsoever. This is an actual still shot from the comic book that is recreating the origin of Nightcrawler. And if you read some of the text, it says she knew in advance that she would be in labor for 22 hours. All right, no big deal. That she would lose a liter of blood and rely on painkillers that will leave her bedridden for days. Okay, this foreknowledge did not make things easier. So they're trying to showcase her giving birth in a way that is, I very rarely, I think, have ever seen a woman give birth on her knees like that, essentially trying to take a dump. That's how it looks. But apparently this is what lesbians do. This is how lesbians give birth. That's number one. Number two, this doctor, I don't know where he's grabbing. I mean, this woman's ass must be so gigantic that his hands are up here and her back is arching downward like this. So that means her badonkadonk is this, all this right here. She's got a massive tushy, this lady. All right, that's number two. And it also defies physics because it should be pointing downward here, and yet he's definitely reaching somewhere up here. So it's just a little odd to me, but okay, maybe that's being a little too picky. Number three, she's wearing pants. She's wearing pants. Like, why is she wearing pants when she's giving birth? Are you kidding me right now? Like, you couldn't even get the basics of the pants. Like, you really couldn't just take off the pants. It's not like you're showing anything. You still could have shadowed out most of it and just showed bare skin to showcase that she's not wearing fucking pants because she's giving birth. This is written, okay? I want to make it very clear. This story is probably written by a lesbian who has never received a real penis in her life and has damn sure not given birth to anything other than a massive log of shit after she spent an entire day writing about oppression. That is the only birth that she's ever given. If she is writing and showcasing or drawing this nonsense, this is not a real birth. This is not even close. You're not even trying to be somewhat believable. I understand it's a comic book and I don't want to be too nitpicky, but you literally are just ignoring the fucking basics of proper storytelling. You're trying to tell a story based in somewhat reality, right? You got two people giving birth the human way, and yet this is not how it fucking works 9 times out of 10. So, and they damn sure ain't giving birth with pants on. What, the baby's going to be born inside the pants? I mean, what are you doing here? So again, this is just a little nitpick that I had regarding that. I just thought it was pretty damn hilarious. But let's get into the article and talk about the actual change. So it says, one bam forward, several dozen bams back, replacing one questionable editorial decision with another. Marvel Comics has finally retconned Nightcrawler's widely panned mutants are demons backstory by revealing that rather than Mystique and Azazel, the Fury Blue teleporter is actually the biological son of the Blue shapeshifter and her lesbian lover, Destiny. Buckle up, readers, as it's time to take a ride through the tangled history of the X-Men's resident swashbuckler, beginning with a stop in the franchise's head day. Okay, I'm gonna skip this because I don't really care. I just want to know about how it was changed because, like I said, I don't really care too much about American comic books. I just can't. I can't because what they were before, they damn sure are not anywhere close to that now. So it says, released on November 29, 2023, the one-shot spin-off from Kurt's current Uncanny Spider-Man solo series reveals that rather than Azazel and Mystique, the fan-favorite mutant is actually the offspring of the Blue villainess and her female lover, Destiny. As detailed by writer Spee Spurrier, continuing her affair with Destiny throughout her marriage to Baron Wagner, Mystique is eventually met by an admission from the mutant precog that she would like to build a family, Raven. I find that I would love to build a family with you. Damn, so they made sure to show her clothes off. Both of them clothes off in the bedroom, but they're fully clothed when giving birth. Okay. From there, as recalled by Mystique to her son, there were other pregnancies, other births, before and after, accidents, inconveniences, tragedies upon arrival, but never a child conceived in love. So we made a baby, just her and me. What, bro? What? Just her and me. You realize that is impossible. That is an impossibility. Impossible. But again, here we are. Taking note of Nightcrawler's obvious bewilderment regarding the exact mechanics of his new origin, Mystique proceeds to explain that her pregnancy was made possible by her ability, as first introduced in this moment, to manipulate cells, hormones, and ribosomes. To this end, she then details that thanks to the command of genetics, she was able to craft Kurt's own traits at the time of his conception, noting that Christian, Azazel, and countless others, but they were shades, but they were my palette. In further detailing Mystique's new power upgrade, and in a story letter penned by the X-Men resident mad genius scientist Dr. Nemesis, featured within this issue, elaborates, she is not simply adjusting muscular and skin, but rewriting the genomic instructions in every single cellular nucleus of her body, all at once and all without conscious thought. To put it differently, adds the Doctor, Mystique is not a shapeshifter, she's a gene shaper. Her flesh is the most sophisticated biological apparatus I've ever encountered. Oh, so essentially she can go trans. This is a trans, oh my god, this is a trans allegory story. This is a trans allegory story. Oh my god, man. This is just everywhere. It's everywhere. It is literally everywhere, ladies and gentlemen. Like, why does this interest anybody? I'm seriously, like, when I look at stuff like this, and I get it, man. There's a market for this somewhere. It may not be huge. It damn sure isn't. But there's a market for this somewhere. So, hey, you want to sell 2 comics? Go ahead. But when I read stuff like Tokyo Ghoul, when I read stuff like My Hero Academia, when I read stuff like One Piece, right? There's progressive messaging in there. You know, when you read it and you look through it, there's a lot of characters who are male that obviously look very female. You know, you have certain things in there that it could raise an eyebrow to someone who doesn't know Japanese culture. But at the end of the day, the guys who look like females, they're still very much called men. They're not called women. They're very much called men. They're very much acknowledged as men. They just happen to look very feminine or young or whatever the case may be. Over here in American comic books, no. They want to convince you that you know, through a trans allegory, that Mystique is essentially gene shifting herself to be able to produce male chromosomes and impregnate a woman and have a biological son with 2 females, even though you obviously need a man to do it. But they're trying to tell you that's not necessary. And obviously this is a trans allegory story, in my opinion, to an extent. So of course, here we are with identity politics yet again, ladies and gentlemen, in American comic books. And this is why they are absolutely bombing, and they are not going to be able to produce nowhere near the amount of money that they used to, because they are just completely corrupted at this point. There is no changing it. The entire industry is complete trash. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you did enjoy it. And if you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.